The looms at the Thomas K. Woolen Mill were designed to be super efficient. We have ratcheted our demonstration loom down to the slowest possible speed, and we are still producing about 3 inches of cloth a minute. But the loom is only efficient when it is running. Putting on new warp takes away from weaving time, and in a factory, time is money. So the looms were designed with interchangeable parts to allow the dressing of the loom, or preparation of the warp, to be done off the machine itself to lessen downtime. In fact, there was an entirely different department at the Thomas K. Woolen Mill just devoted to dressing and drawing insteps. When the loom is weaving, warp threads are wound off of the large warp beam at the back, through a set of harnesses at the top that are manipulated up and down in a pattern, and through a reed here in the beater bar, which helps push the webbed thread against the already woven fabric. All of these parts are removable and can be set up away from the loom, to be added later. So in our rewarping project, we are going to take advantage of the system. But in order to do that, we had to search out a spare warp beam, set up harnesses, and reed that would fit our demonstration loom. Luckily, staff and volunteers over the last 40 years have been diligently and strategically collecting spare parts from various local mills as they closed down. The harnesses were easy. There was a big stack stored right behind the loom. We just had to make sure that they were the right width and had the right attachment device, and sufficient number of heddles, these metal strips with holes in the center that guide the warp threads. It took a little Jenga-ing to get them out of the back, and of course, the ones we needed were at the very back. The reeds took a little more digging. An original reed holding cabinet still hangs from the ceiling on the second floor. The old, but not original, ladder, millwright David assures us it was added later and the original ladder is out in the storage area somewhere, was a little scary, so we pulled out some modern reinforcements. Reeds are designed with different numbers of holes, called dents, to receive threads. We decided to pull out the trusty pick counter again to see if we could bind a reed to match the one currently on the loom. While many of the reeds have the sizes stamped on them, they were long and heavy and weren't all put away stamp side out. And they came in varying lengths. A little dustier than when we started, we found a reed that looked like it would work. After some quick measurements, we headed off to the appropriately named large object storage in search of a warp beam. We found several to choose from and admittedly had to make several trips back for additional measurements. The flanges on the outside apparently come in a variety of sizes. But we did find one that would fit. And, of course, it was in the back. That was the spare parts needed for the loom taken care of. But what about the dressing machines themselves? We soon determined that with the number of warp ends we were planning, we would need a lot more spools. Back to large object storage and sorting through 3 sizes of spools there. And, because we couldn't help ourselves, resorting the rest so they were ordered by size for the next time we needed to go looking. The only spare part we knew we needed at this point but couldn't find any of in the collections were metal pins that were used to hold warp sections onto the reel. But maintenance technician Chris had a brilliant idea.
These are part of a steel reinforcement web that we were using for caboose footings, and these were scraps that just happened to fit.
Just the right size.
Just the right size.
Nice.
And so we're upcycling.
Hunt for spare parts concluded, we were able to turn the focus onto the first machine we needed to get in working order. Tune in next time to see the functional, if a little silly looking retrofit of the spooler and bobbin stand.
Yeah, I think those will fit in fine. How long do we want them?
That's a good question.
How much thread you're going to put on there?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it that short. Are they going to stay is the next question.
Well, here, go ahead and
pull. Yeah, you're right. They're not going to come out.
Right. So about 4 inches.
Yeah, I like how. I mean, I might just leave them the length they are.
Well, they aren't all
the same.
A uniform. Yeah. Yeah, because see, they're different. So. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think it'd be good to pinch, like, did you pinch that?
I didn't.
Okay.
But I can cut the ends if you think that would, but I don't want that to interfere with.
Yeah, still coming on.
The thread
pictures,
going on.
the pictures that I've seen, they are, well, maybe you can see them on this one. They are pinched a little bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what they did.